Hey guys, I'm going to do a video about the idea of wasting time and why I think it's subjective and not objective. Um, so I would have thought this would seem quite obvious that wasting time is subjective, but I suppose it's not in terms of the power of how other people convince you that you're wasting time or you have wasted time in the past. Um, so the reason why I'm making this video is mostly for mental health reasons and for reasons to make you not doubt yourself and what you are doing in life, or not doing in life. So let's say you've been working on a career all your life about I don't know, trying to invent a time machine or something. Honestly, I mean, there's probably like thousands or even millions of people in the world who are trying to invent time machines, and I mean, it's such a popular technical technological field in today's science world, I guess. So, yeah, a lot of people, including serious scientists, might tell this person they're wasting their whole life trying to invent something that's impossible. But I mean, if you think about it, a lot of famous people in the past, they've had people in their time, their friends, their family, their co-workers, the media, they've told them that what they're trying to do is impossible or it's a waste of time and energy and it will never happen. And because they've ignored their critics and they've plowed on through what they think they can achieve, they've actually achieved it. Although not everyone can achieve this, um, it is something that can be done if you have the right amount of willpower and the right amount of ability to not listen to these critics. Now, sometimes it it is hard to know when to not decide to pursue something because it's realistically unlikely or even impossible. But honestly, how do you know what is and isn't possible? Like, let's be honest. Um, so yeah, that's another tangent that, yeah, I might make a video on that at some point, like how to know if you're using your time and your life on this earth wisely by trying to figure something out. Yeah, I'd like to make a video on that at some point. Um, yeah, so to know whether or not you are wasting time is pretty much your own call. So basically, you need to find out what you're passionate about, and then that way you'll pretty much know whether or not you are wasting time pursuing a goal or an objective or a job or like anything really. Um, yeah, and it can be hard to know what your passions are. I will be making videos about how to do that in the future. Um, but yeah, if you follow your passions, then you will know in your heart deep down that you are not wasting your time. You're not wasting your life like working on something or like researching something like and just wasting that time, because it's your passion, it's your reason for living basically. It's your life purpose, and no one can take that away from you. Um, yes. So wasting time is subjective, and you can also have regrets about the past, about having wasted time in the past, because you realize in the present that what you have done in the past wasn't following your life passions basically. um, and that's why it's important to realize what your passions and your life purposes are. You can have more than one. You need to realize what these are as early in your life as possible to avoid having future regrets about wasting time because you haven't followed your life passions. And yeah, also you could say that one person might think you've wasted your life clubbing, partying, over socializing, or I don't know, spending years on internet forums and not engaging in the real world, or watching Netflix like 6 hours a day or something ridiculous like that. And a lot of people might say that's wasting your life. And a lot of people might say that's not wasting your life, because those people could say that you are making use of the resources and you genuinely enjoy watching TV's shows and movies. You genuinely enjoy talking on forums. Like, I'm an ENFJ in MBTI, and that is, I love to help people and I love to keep them on track with their lives and like entertain them, I guess. And I can do that through forums. And I also suffer from anxiety, so that really makes it hard to engage with other people like in real life. So I can achieve my purpose at least partially through like forums and that. So there's an example there. So yeah, and the example with like clubbing and like drinking, like you're having fun, like you're making use of this resource that not everyone in the world has. And if you genuinely enjoy it and you're not spending too much time on it, then I don't see a problem with that. Although you can spend too much time like clubbing and socializing, and it can impact negatively your mental health and even physical health and social relationships. Yeah. So hopefully we've covered what I wanted to cover there. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so say you regret now that you've spent too much time not focusing on what you really care about in life, or not much time focusing on what you care about in life. So you have those regrets. Now, I am huge in terms of not regretting things in the past. simply because it's just wasting emotional energy, and you can't change the past. There's just no point regretting anything in the past. You just have to stay present and look to the future. I mean, it's easy for me to say with my cognitive functions and that, like SI trickster and SE child and parent introverted intuition, but yeah. So you can look at it as a way of, let's say I spent too much time partying in my past, which I don't really, but I mean, I do now and again, but anyway, let's say I'm someone who has spent too much time in the past partying, clubbing, getting wasted, and like drugs and all of that. And now I'm having a sort of midlife crisis that I've wasted years of my life trying to do that, and I don't know what I want in life now, and I'm just stuck right now, and I'm not sure what my life purpose is. And now I'm 35 or something. Like, I'm this person who's 35 years old, and I'm just like, what do I do now? I mean, I'm too old for partying now, and I'll just look weird if I just walk in a club and I'm just like, yeah, let's party. um, so what you can say now is, you can say to yourself that at least I have used my youth partying, and although I've used too much of it partying, and I haven't had a certain amount to think about what I want in life and my future, at least used I've not wasted it, like literally doing nothing, like literally nothing. That is probably the closest you can get to wasting your life. But most of us haven't done literally nothing in the past to be regretful of. They might have, like, you can say you've done literally nothing when you haven't, and that would be, for example, if you suffer from mental health issues. So I have a few of those, which I will talk about in the future, in my future videos. So like social anxiety and ADHD and traumatic events in my past, and they prevent you from certain paths in life. So therefore, it would make no sense to regret things because you have a very valid excuse of mental health issues. Yeah, and also one reason to not regret things in the past, I would say, is because it was a good idea in the moment for you to do or not do the things you did, and you wouldn't have changed your mind, your choices, unless you knew how you would feel in the future, and you had no idea how you would feel in the future. So you can't change the past unless you knew what would happen in the future. And of course, no one would know what would happen in the future. So yeah, if you could change things again, you'd make exactly the same choice unless you knew what would happen in the future, basically. Yeah. Is that everything I wanted to say? Yeah, so yeah, also I'll make one more example, and that is, so we've covered over partying in the past and regretting that we haven't worked on our life purpose, our careers, and now let's on the flip side think about how we spent too much time as a workaholic pretty much. So so you've worked too much on your career and you haven't spent enough time socializing, having fun, chasing hobbies, like a general entertainment. Like you've pretty much ignored it and demonized all of that. So now you're regretting that you're too old to socialize at like clubs or at the fairground or just like all sorts of things. I mean, a lot of people tend to think that you have more fun the younger you are, and that's true to a certain extent because we have more energy, we're younger, our physical bodies are more capable of handling certain activity, and yeah, so that's true to some extent. And also what I would say to that is you can find other ways to have fun in the present and the future. Like you can see, I mean, I've seen people in real life who are so much fun, have a great sense of humor, love to have a laugh, play games, like all kinds of things, and they're like well in their 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond, and they're great people to just see and interact with and talk to, and you can be one of those people. So yeah, you can also see that you've spent all this time in your life working on your career and your job, and now that is a checkbox that you have ticked in your life, and now it's time for you to claim your reward. Let's say. So you have your finances ticked, and a lot of people don't have that ticked in their life, and now they are worrying that they are unable to pay the bills and afford to keep their house or feed their children or pets and all of that, and they have to stick with a low paying job, a job that they're not passionate about. And although it's not impossible to find your life purpose at the age you are, even if you're over 50, like you can find your life purpose now, and you can make a career, you can make a business, like a YouTube channel or blogs on a website. Like you can do it right now. Just have your passions in the right place and you can make that happen. So yeah, I'm not saying that you're too old to to work on your life purpose now if you haven't in your earlier years. So yeah, I think that is just about everything about my opinions on wasting time. I might do another video that also talks about wasting time, but it's on a more smaller scale, and it comes from me and how I sometimes do things that try to achieve the quickest result possible, and it's more of an OCD thing, but I still think a more general video might be useful to some of you guys to watch. Yeah, that's all I have to say. If you like the video, found it useful, or think other people might find it useful close in your life or on a forum or something, then please share it with others. The more people I help, the better. Could subscribe and comment. I love constructive criticism in the comments to help me improve my videos, as long as you do it in a nice and respectful way. Otherwise, you'll just be like insulting me, and that's not very nice to do. um, yeah, yeah. I hope you have an awesome day and an amazing life.